Welcome back, guys. I was gone for a minute. I mean, not gone, but just didn't make videos for a while. Just extremely busy. I guess bill season started early. People didn't have a good time, I think, during the year earlier in the summer. So now we're like swarmed with engine builds and car builds and whatnot. So it took this time off. I just wanted to, before we get to the tuning, make some quick video on this engine that we're building right now and a couple of things that we came across that might help other people. When we were doing the MyVec delete, we always start with 0, and we were trying to torque it down. A lot of people might have issues that we had. I didn't take a picture at the time, but there's a dowel in the back where the cam bolt goes to, the pin goes to, the holder. That wasn't completely hollowed out. And I guess it's a machining error. So we put it in. It looks perfect. You can't even tell with the naked eye. But when we were torquing it down, it didn't torque properly. Like it would keep spinning, but it stopped at like 40. And it's supposed to go to like 62 or 63. And then we couldn't figure out what it was. And it kept on doing them. We're like, yo, something's wrong. We put lube, because you're supposed to put lube behind the neck because this is aluminum. Nothing worked. So we finally cleaned the thread on the cams. And when we did that, we had to open it, and we saw that that's what it was. The pinhole was blocked up. So we decided to basically drill it out properly, and now everything works. It fit exactly. And one of the other things we did, we just put it in and try to see the timing, and that's how we caught it. This wasn't in properly, and you can't tell with the naked eye. It was a little like twisted, and that was enough to throw off the marks on the timing. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and maybe it'll help somebody. But on to the tuning. So I forgot to turn on my microphone, so I'm going to be doing voiceover on this. This is Mario Angela's car. This is a 2006 Evo 9. Built motor. We didn't build it. He bought the car from someone and has said that the motor was built. He's confident that that wasn't a lie. So he's running a 6466 bottom mount, and I think it's 14-pound wastegate. And he basically came to us with the bad heads. He went to a different shop and they tried to do timing or something, and messed up the valves and bent it. So we built the head. He got S2 cams, springs and retainers. He actually bought it off of another client of ours, including the turbo kit. FIC 2150s, and he has a radium surge tank with dual pumper, so it should make a little bit of jam. We're not going to go crazy with this because we don't know what the bottom end specs are really. Just know it has I-beam, so we're going to take it easy. He wants around 700, so that shouldn't be difficult. So first we're going to tune 93. So this is around 24, 23 psi. Kind of rich. Expected that because of the pumps really doing its job, and the surge tank makes it's different than just having a dual pumper in your tank. The surge tank actually makes it a lot more efficient. The delivery is a lot better of the fuel. But we got a little bit of work to do on the fueling, and then we're going to dial it up. I'm not going to go too high on 93 because where he lives and where we live, 93 is not as good as other places. So we're going to keep it. I'm aiming for around 500.
I haven't played with the boost yet, but we're close to our goal anyway. I'm gonna just maybe try to increase it a pound or so. Leave them at like 26, 27. That's good enough for the streets. And we'll really turn it up on the E85. So we made a little bit of power with the added boost. I did clean up the field just a little bit more. And I think this is where we're going to leave the 93. There's no reason to push it. He's going to be running 85 on it. Anyways.
Link engaged.
This is a first run on E85. We did have to mix X98 with our pump E85, which is right now, cold, so it's pretty low, like around 60 something. Just to get the ethanol up, we just mixed half and half of X98 with pump ethanol. But this is the first run on E85, same boost, same everything. But it did spike a little bit towards the end when I let off the throttle. The boost, so we're gonna have to work on that. So this is 30 pounds, maybe 31, and we still got that spike at the end. Right now it's not that big of a deal. I am addressing that. As you can see, the lines are not straight because the boost is going up and down, so I don't want to inhibit anything towards the end, but I will address the boost curve in a couple of runs. But right now I'm more working on the spool and how the feel comes on because of his secondary pump that turns on with the hop switch at higher boost, and just the scaling of the E85 injectors.
Leave it.
So this is just playing with the boost curve. I understand now how this boot turbo responds to the wastegate duty cycle, and due to the cam lobe, the MyVac, I got a good idea now, so I'm going to start to really lean on it. The feeling is good at this point, and we picked up a lot of torque just from the boost controlling the curve of the turbo. Not necessarily more boost at certain areas, but that's what tuning is. So I want to talk a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes of tuning. What you're seeing in these videos is obviously not all of it. There's a lot of little things that goes on. The biggest thing is having the car prepped for the tuning. Obviously, if we're doing all the work, if you're in my shop, we're taking care of it. But I would say 90% of all the real work goes before the tuning. And tuning is a formula. I use almost the same formula for all cars. That's why I would say most tuners do. They have a process, and that's why that becomes a style, because I go through my process, which might be different than the next tuner. Some things are the same, obviously. Like if you see low fuel, you add fuel. If you see it's too rich, you take away fuel. Those are obviously the same, but the way you go about doing it, drivability and the whole process, the amount of time it takes, the number of runs you do, the issues that come up and how you solve them, those little things is what makes tuners different from one tuner to another. I have my own style. I like to solve my own way versus, say, the next person. Just wanted to talk a little bit about that. This is on 35 pounds of boost, and as you can see, the graph looks very different than before. Let me try to isolate what I'm talking about. So basically, between 6 and 75 there was a dip, and the boost was steady enough on the what is that, greenish line, the one before with 600, but what was happening was it was interfering with the MyVec and therefore timing as well. So we cleaned that up a little bit. This is on 35 pounds, but it's steady, and then I will eventually have to drop the boost up top, for my own reasons, and maybe run a little bit of timing instead. We were running 35 pounds, so now this is 36, 37 pounds, and I added timing. We were running 93 octane timing this whole time, and so now I decided to up it a little bit.
Link engaged.
So this is on the same boost as before, just added a few degrees of timing, and this is where we're gonna leave it. We talked about 700. He's definitely got that. Only reason is because we're not sure about the motor at the bottom end. This turbo system, however, is definitely capable of making mid 8s to upper 8s. It's 64, 66, and we're gonna leave it here. This is pretty torquey, I would say, for a 2.0, and he's really going to enjoy it on the streets, and he just needs better tires, and that's basically it.
I'm gonna die. That's going on Instagram. right, clear road.
So thank you guys for watching. More videos coming soon. Got a lot of projects to go through. I get a lot of questions. I guess I'm not being very clear on certain things. We do A to Z builds. We build engines, we do heads. Only thing we don't do is transmissions, because you know TRE is the company that we go to for that. He's been serving us well for a very long time. And that's about it. Tuning, fuel systems, head, block, everything. We do everything, and it's not just Evos. We do other platforms. Best way to get in contact with me is either Facebook Messenger or email. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, be kind.